You mentioned Zoom earlier. You
Yeah.
mentioned that right now with this shift that has happened as a result of COVID, that everybody's now more accustomed to the technology. They're more accustomed to doing virtual stuff as opposed to in person. There's a plethora now of business opportunities for people that want to step into that thing and make their knowledge available to the value of others. How have you guys pivoted since this time? Because you guys were basically running live events all the time. So how has this changed for you guys?
Yeah. So I mean, overnight our whole business stopped. So we were a live events company for nearly a decade. That's all we did, live events. I'd been interviewed a couple of times on Zoom, but I'd never run a Zoom event ever in my life, never. I didn't believe a human being could actually sit in an event for 6 days via Zoom. Boy, has my mind been changed around that. And so basically, Cham's funny. Cham's my business partner, co-founder of the company. Cham's like, Ben, should we prepare for in case this becomes a pandemic? I'm like, nah. I'm just always Mr. Positive. Nah.
Won't happen.
He goes, do you think we need a contingency plan? I was like, nah, we don't need one. He said, what happens if it does become a pandemic? I said, Cham, if they say it's a pandemic and they shut our business down, then to the day after, I'll come into this studio and I'll just record all of our events. And he said, is that the whole plan? I said, that's the whole plan. Let's keep going. we just kept running events. And then one day they say, no more. And true to my word, the very next day I walked in this studio and I recorded a one-day event that we rolled out via an evergreen webinar platform.
Could you explain what evergreen means for people that are...
Evergreen just basically means that you strip all the dates off it. You make it a product that can be relevant at any point. So, as strange as it sounds, because you and I are talking about the pandemic, this is no longer an evergreen interview, because 10 years from now, they'll be like, what pandemic? So evergreen is typically where you take away details that relate to specific moments in time, and then it can be utilized 24/7 for the rest of your life. So it's evergreen. It's always ripe. Mm-hmm. So that's basically what an evergreen is. And so we recorded a direct to camera event where I sat at this desk and I made, well, the whole experience was like it's live, but I didn't know Zoom. I hadn't learned that yet. So we basically recorded something that looked like this, exactly. This is just a big camera, recorded the whole thing, we edited it, and then we rolled it out on a webinar jam platform, which is just like, it's kind of like GoToWebinar. It's one of those many platforms you can do webinars on. But when the user logs in, it feels like it's a live experience. You can chat, comment. We've got someone answering questions live. But me, myself, I'm not presenting live. We just load up a video. So we did that for a month, right? And because we were behind the scenes, I hadn't learned Zoom. So I locked myself in the studio. So I recorded that, we rolled that out. And I just sat in the studio, and for about 4 weeks, every day, 8 hours a day for about 4 weeks, a team member, Bronwyn, and I sat here and we just did every single thing we could do with Zoom. So I just learned out of sight. Then we got about 30 crew members, our volunteer crew members, to come in, and we spent 2 additional weeks on top of that, just testing everything, how to share slides the best, how to bring the live event experience into Zoom. Everyone knows how to use Zoom, but very few people know how to translate a live experience to Zoom. And so that took us a month and a half of understanding that. And then we did our very first 6-day, 8-hour-a-day live event.
Amazing.
And the results we got were actually better than the live event, which I wasn't expecting. As in the student learning, the quality of skill set, because I didn't realize that when they're at home, they're so focused. Whereas when they're at a live event, you got people next to you. I never understood that. So we've actually found that our students retain higher levels of content, they learn better and faster, and their quality of what they produce off the back end is actually better. I would never have guessed that ever. So we pivoted really hard. Obviously, since that day, we haven't done an in-room event because they keep locking us down. So we're not going to try live events for a while. But as a result of that, we opened up our whole global market. We've now got students in Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, the UK, Germany, United Arab Emirates, Dubai, all over the place now. So our whole business, as strange as it is, exploded.
So So would you say, would it be a fair call to say that, yes, you open up new markets, your business revenue wise has grown and your costs have gone down because you don't have all the, the AV, the venues and the airfares and whatever? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the pandemic's tough. My brother is in hospitality and he's a brilliant operator. He's owns multiple hospitality venues down in Canberra. And, he got smashed with the bushfires, and then straight after bushfires, boom, straight into a pandemic. So definitely there's some pain out there in the marketplace. There are industries that are suffering. And I just feel very blessed to have, 16 years ago made a decision to go down this path of sharing knowledge. And it's pandemic proof. It's a pandemic proof business. In fact, if anything, more people are at home now wanting knowledge. More, the people who are watching this right now, they don't realize that people want your knowledge more than ever. That they have the time, they have the resources, they have the software. So for us, as strange as it is, the pandemic was the best thing that ever happened to our organization. And I want to say that in a way that I don't deny that the world is mentally suffering, from the mental health issues that are now caused from this thing is just horrific.
Yeah.
I also appreciate from a business perspective, though, you have to acknowledge when an opportunity presents itself. And, it was two months of stressing out, losing all of my hair. But basically at the end of it, when I look at it, I'm like, wow, that was a blessing in disguise, because our whole business just stopped in one day, finished. We couldn't do anything else.
I'm not sure what hair you were referring to, because I don't remember you having any.
Yes. I've never had hair, so we're all good.
Hey, but I really love how you say this. And look, I think it's also, again, important for people that might be, let's say, in a very affected industry, like you say, hospitality, retail. A lot of the people have really been doing it tough. These places tend to be very reliant on a brick and mortar space, the location. You already said earlier, right now in this day and age, you can work from anywhere and help people with your knowledge from anywhere, like even me in Bali here. No, kidding. This is just a nice background, right? But you can do it, right?
I tell you, we have a client of ours who owns quite a few nightclubs down in South Australia. And obviously in the blink of an eye, boom, their whole business is finished. And then they have some big nightclubs. They're struggling.
I think you know him. I think I know him.
Yeah, they're struggling, trying to work out what to do. And a couple of weeks later, they pivot and they start doing online cocktail making classes, right? Cocktail making classes. Then to take it to the next level, you can buy boxes that get mailed to your house that have the ingredients. So you can buy a box, buy a membership, and then they get the world's best cocktail makers to come in each week and show you all the different cocktail lessons. Now, I'm not here to promote the consumption of alcohol, and neither that nor neither. I'm just saying, what a fantastic pivot. Then I also saw people who owned restaurants who are obviously doing the home delivered meals, but then took it to another level. They got their chefs in the studio. They sent a box to your house, and at 11 o'clock on Monday morning, you can actually log on a Zoom, get your little mystery box, open it up, and the chef will do cooking lessons with you. And you buy memberships to that. So we started to see the people who really knew what they were doing. We were helping a lot of people do this stuff. So you've got this bricks and mortar business, you've got nothing left. Well, it's called e-classes. You got to start doing e-lessons. That's where it's at, the sharing of knowledge. There's tyre companies now that have e-classes around cars, tires, how to drive on certain types of asphalts, and it's just crazy, right?
I think we want to add more words to the Ben dictionary, yeah?
That's right. Asphalt, maybe that's right. But different surfaces, that's what I'm trying to say. But the reality is, people, you're either going to be rigid and stuck to your ways and just watch your whole business go bankrupt, or you're going to snap out of it, get yourself some cameras and a light, and get on with your life. You just get on with it.